Good evening to our another lecture this evening. Our lesson for this week is about types of operating system. So our objectives is to discuss the different types of operating systems, value the importance of types of operating systems, and understand the advantages and disadvantages of types of operating system. The first operating system that we're going to discuss about is batch operating systems. So the users of the batch operating systems do not interact with the computer directly. Each user prepares his job on an offline device, like punch cards, and submits it to the computer operator. To speed up processing, jobs with similar needs are batched together and run as a group. The programmers leave their program with the operator, and the operator then sorts the program with similar requirements into batches. So the problem with batch operating systems are as follows. Number one is lack of interaction between the user and the job. Number two, CPU is often idle because the speed of the mechanical input-output devices is lower than the CPU. And number three, it is difficult to provide the desired priority. Number two type of operating system is time-sharing operating system. So time sharing is a technique which enables many people located at various terminals to use a particular computer system at the same time. So time sharing or multitasking is the logical extension of multiprogramming. Processor's time, which is shared among the multiple users simultaneously, is termed as time sharing. So the main difference between multi-program batch systems and time-sharing system is that in case of multi-program batch system, the objective is to maximize processor use, whereas in time-sharing system, the objective is to minimize response time. So multiple jobs are executed by the CPU switching between them, but the switches occur so frequently, thus the user receives an intermediate response. For example, in the transition processing, the processor executes each program in a short burst or quantum of computation. That is, if the end users are present, then each user can get a time quantum. When the user submits the command, the response time is a few seconds at most. So the operating system uses CPU scheduling and multiprogramming to provide each user with a small portion of time. Computer systems that were designed primarily as batch systems has been modified to time-sharing systems. So the advantages of time-sharing operating systems are as follows. Number one is to provide the advantage of quick response. Number two is avoids duplication of the software. Number three, it reduces CPU idle time. If there are advantages, there are also disadvantages of time-sharing operating system. These are number one is problem of reliability. Number two is the question of security and integrity of user programs and data. And number three is the problem of communication. For activity number three, you must refer to your module. Activity number three is about coding 103. What you're going to do is to step 1, write this in Notepad and save it as test.bat. So the contents are echo of, next line, title, this is your first batch script. Next line, echo, welcome to batch scripting. Next line, pause. In step number 2, run it in command prompt by typing test.bat. You can go directly to the command prompt by going into the search area for Windows 10 and then you type CMD and press enter. Now the content for the output, as you can see, is provided by step 3. So that the step 3 is the expected output and you must provide screenshots. Okay, number 3 type of operating system is distributed system. So distributed system uses multiple central processors to serve multiple real-time applications and multiple users. So data processing jobs are distributed among the processors accordingly. So the processors communicate with one another through various communication lines, such as high-speed buses or telephone lines. So these are referred as loosely coupled systems or distributed systems. The processor in a distributed system may vary in size and function. So these processors are referred as sites, nodes, computers, and so on. So the advantages, okay, let's go to network operating system. So the network operating system runs on a server and provides the server the capability to manage data, users, groups, security, applications, and other networking functions. So the primary purpose of a networking operating system is to allow shared files and printer access among multiple users in a network. So typically a LAN, a private network, or to the other networks. So examples of network operating systems includes Microsoft Windows Server 2003, Microsoft Windows Server 2008, Unix, Linux, Mac OS X, Novell NetWare, and BSD. Now, for the advantages and disadvantages of network operating system are displayed. So number one advantage is to centralized servers are highly stable. Number two is security is served managed. And number three, upgrades to the new technologies and hardware can easily integrated into the system. Number four is remote access to servers is possible from different locations and types of systems. However, advantages of network operating systems are number one is the high cost of buying and running a server. Number two is the dependency on a central location for most operations. And number three, regular maintenance and upgrades are required. So number four operating system is, or type of operating system is real-time operating system. So a real-time system is defined as data processing system in which the time interval required to process and respond to input is so small that it controls the environment. So time taken by the system to respond to an output and display of required updated information is termed as response time. So in this method, the response time is very less as compared to online processing. So real-time systems are used when there are rigid time requirements on operations of a processor or the flow of data, and real-time systems can be used as control device in a dedicated application. A real-time operating system must have well-defined fixed time constraint, otherwise the system will fail. Just like for example, scientific experiments, medical imaging systems, industrial control systems, weapon systems, robots, air traffic control, and etc. So there are two types of real-time operating system. So we have hard real-time system and soft real-time system. When we talk about hard real-time system, it guarantees that the critical task complete in time. So in hard real-time system, secondary storage is limited or missing and the data is stored on ROM. So in this system, virtual memory is almost never found. Whereas in a soft real-time system, these are less restrictive and it is critical time or real-time task must have a priority over the task retains the priority unless it completes the task. For this kind of setup, systems are limited utility than hard real-time systems. Example, multimedia, VR or virtual reality, advanced scientific projects like undersea exploration, and planetary rovers. For your activity number 4, it is called fact check. So the direction is answer the following questions. Write it in a paragraph form. What you're going to do is to type it in a word processor and save it as activity number 4. Number 1 question is network operating systems feasible? Does it matter if it is a wireless network? You must explain it in at least 300 words. Number 2, give an extensive example of a real-time operating system. Is it more efficient than the normal booting sequence found in a standalone operating system? Explain, at least at 300 words with illustrations and pictures. And lastly, number 3 is what happened to a distributed system if your server does not work or malfunction. So what are you going to do? And what are the alternative solutions to this problem? You must explain this in 500 words. In our last Ad Astra Sapientiam, the end. Thank you.